Hello everyone. Today we are going to do the class of Science ninth standard. The chapter is second. The chapter name is Matter Around Us Pure? Is the matter around us is pure, or you are going to study in this chapter? Exercise questions with answer along with shortly explanation. First question: which separation technique will you apply for the separation of the following? In this chapter, you are going to study about this separation. So, which method you are going to do for the purpose of sodium chloride from its solution in water? You know that sodium chloride is a salt which is dipped or which is dissolves in water. You will get a pure form of or a single layer of water. So how you will be separate the sodium chloride or salt from the water? By the method of evaporation, or the answer is evaporation. Evaporation means we have to we have to apply the heat to the salt water. Then, where in the case the NaCl is converted into solid form as well, the water is evaporated. So, you will get NaCl as in the form of solid. Second question: aluminium chloride from a mixture containing sodium chloride and aluminium chloride. Here we have to know that aluminium chloride is also one of the solid content. Both, I mean the sodium chloride, I mean NaCl also a solid. How we have to be separate? Both are by the method of sublimation. Sublimation means one, the chloride, or this is the method by heating and direct conversion of solid into a gas. So, in the case of aluminum chloride as well NaCl is separated by the method of sublimation. Third question: small pieces of metal in the engine oil of a car. You know that there is an engine oil as a liquid where the small pieces of metal will be present. Metal is always a solid. Engine oil is a liquid and the metal is a solid. This is separated by the method of filtration. You know that filtration can be done by the with the help of filter paper as well the funnel, where solid particle will be stuck on in the filter paper as well liquid will be passes into outside. Next question: different pigments from an extract of flower petals. You know that flower petals having a different color. So, this is the pigment can be extracted or separated of two colors by the method of chromatography. Chroma means it is a color. Topography or a separation color based separation is always done by the method of chromatography. Chromatography is one of the method to separate the flower based or a color based filtration. Next question is butter from curd. Of course, everyone knew about the butter as well the curd. Curd is a liquid, butter is a solid. How you will remove or separate? By the method of a centrifuge. The butter or the curd is by the method of centrifuge. Of course, you know that liquid is apply the extra force or a rotation value takes place. By the rotation, there is a separation of solid as well the liquid. By undergo a centrifuge, curd is separated into butter as well the buttermilk. So from this method, you could separate butter as well the this. Next, oil from water. Of course, you could have observed that oil is also a liquid. Water is also a liquid, where water as well oil both are liquid. How we have to be separate? Again, this can be separated by the method of a separating funnel. You could have seen this funnel in your kitchen or some other purpose. You could have seen or you could have used it. But separating funnel is something different. Like a funnel, we have to add both the liquid and separate it. Next, tea leaves from the tea. You know that the waste or a residue can be separated by the or from the tea. After making a tea, there is a waste leaves or a residue will be have to be there. How we have to be separate? Of course, everyone's home we are using this method as a filtration. You have a funnel, you have the filter paper, we have to be extract by the method of filtration, or we can use the what this is one of the main method to separate solid as well the liquid. Filtration is one of the main method. Second one is iron pins from the sand. You have to observe here, iron is a solid, sand is a mixture of all the solid particle. It may have a stone or other things, whatever. Sand is also a solid. Iron pin is also a solid. But you know that iron having a different property. How you will separate? Of course, by the method of magnet. If you take a magnet and hold the magnet near this separation or a mixture, all the iron particle come and catch to the magnet, and remaining whatever the sand will be there, it will be there in the place where it kept itself. So this is one of the best method to separate iron fillings or a iron containing what impurity along with the sand or mud or whatever. Next question, wheat grains from the husk. Of course, you know that wheat is a solid. Again, husk is also a solid. But you know that wheat grains having a weight is more. Husk is like a dust. I mean lightweight. So, how we have to be separate? By the saving methods or a shearing method. If you await, if you put the air from other side, all the dust particle or a lightweight particle will be ran off. Fine mud particles suspended in water. Yes, of course, you could have seen that mud particle is a solid as well water is a liquid. How? Mud is solid and which are settled in the bottom of the container where the mixture of water and the mud is present. So, mud is suspended or which is settled in the bottom. Then again undergo the method of filtration. By the filter paper as well the funnel, we have to be pour all the mud as well the mud water. Then what the solid will be there? Mud, of course, a mud. Mud will be stable or which will be present in upper portion of filter paper, and the pure water will be transferred into the different flask. Question number 2. Write the steps you would use for making a tea. Use the word solution, solvent, solute, dissolve, soluble, insoluble, filtrate, and the residue. Before going to explain this, you should know what you mean by the solution. Solution means it is a mixture of solute as well as solvent. The answer, first one is taking water in a vessel. Of course, water is a solvent. Of course, you know that water is a solvent. It is also called as a universal solvent. Why? Because in the water, almost all the content will be dissolved. Second, add the solute like any sugar or a tea powder also, where the sugar is dissolves. Of course, you know that. But the tea powder is insoluble. While the boiling, add the milk. Then undergo a filtrate or a filtration, where the residue, the waste thing will be there, no? That is called as a residue. The waste means the powder, tea powder, which is insoluble in the tea, that is called as a residue. What you going to pure filtrate, that is in the another beaker, that is called as a pure tea. So in the main question, tea preparation. Next question, give an example for the following with saturated solution. It means at any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving is said to be saturated solution. Means in the solution there is a solute as well the solvent. The solvent which is capable to dissolve the solute, the capability of dissolving, that is called as a saturated solution. A pure substance. A pure substance means single type of particles, or the only one type of particle should be there in the case of a pure substance. Pure means it is 100% perfect, or only one only one particle or a substance should be there, that is called as a pure substance. C. Collide. A collide is a heterogeneous mixture whose size is too small to be individually seen by naked eyes. It cannot be seen, which can be seen our naked eyes. Where it is a heterogeneous mixture means we can see the mixture of the two kinds. In the case of here, where the size of the particle is very very small, but when you going to observe, we could see to our naked eyes, so that is called as a collide. Suspension. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. Again, it is a heterogeneous mixture in which solute particles do not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the bulk of the medium. Particles of suspension are visible to our naked eyes. The particle very small but we can see. Question number 5. Classify each of the following as a homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. Soda water, wood, air, soil, vinegar, filtered tea. The first you should know what you mean by the homogeneous. Homo means single or one layered mixture. Heterogeneous means other or different types of a mixture. What could be the answer? Let me go. Homogeneous mixture is example soda water. There is only one kind of the water will be there or a single layer will be there. Air, we could not see differentiate here. Vinegar, if you put into the glass, there is no other different form. Filtered tea, again in the filtered tea, there is no other kinds, only the liquid contents will be there. The heterogeneous mixture. Hetero means different or a two or more or a other. That the mixture having a two or more layers then or two or more kinds by seeing to our naked eyes, then it is called as a heterogeneous mixture. Of course, when you look at the soil, there is a small stone, big stone, mud, dust, or a leaf of plants, dry leaves, etc. So, soil is a mixture of all the kind. Question number 6. How would you confirm that a colorless liquid given to you is pure water? Can you identify? If I give a glass or a cup of liquid, but it is a colorless, like a water, do you confirm that whether the given kind, the given in the cup or a glass is a pure water? Can you imagine whether it is a pure or not? Let me discuss. The answer is pure water is obtained by the fractional distillation. It has only water molecule, not other than that. By this, we conclude purity of water, or we can say that it is a pure water. When you drink a well water or borewell water, you could have feel or you could have get the smell or the taste wise is different. When you drink the distilled water is the different. Why? Because the distilled water is removed almost all the ions which are present in the water molecule. So it is, we can conclude that it is a pure. Which of the following materials fall in the category of pure substance? In the question, they given some of the substance. You have to categorize whether it is a pure or not. Ice, milk, iron, hydrochloric acid, calcium oxide, mercury, brick, wood, air, and also so many etc you could have add one or more than that also, but in the question paper they given such of the examples. Let me discuss which is the pure and which is not pure. Among these substance, ice, iron, mercury and tree are the pure substances. These are the very pure substance. Ice means it is a solid form of water. Ice is a solid form of water. When the water is converted into the ice by apply the freeze or you by doing the freeze or to do the less number of temperature, or iron is also very 100% pure, even the mercury is also 100% pure. Question number 8. Identify the solution among the following mixture. What you mean by the mixture? Mixture means there should be a two or more substance. What you mean by the solution? Solution means it is a mixture of solute and the solvent. A. Soil, sea water, air, coal, soda water. In these concepts, we have to categorize which is a solution. The mixture that contains. Let me see the answer. Answer. Soil is having the minerals. Seawater, it have the salt. Air, it is a mixture of other than the gases. Nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. The coal is a carbon. Of course, you know that it is a coal means a carbon. Soda water. Soda water is a carbon dioxide. Is it most of the time we are drinking this soda water? It is the soda water having the carbon dioxide, so it is not good to your health. Not only your health, to all the human being. Why? Because our body is not need much more amount of the carbon dioxide. We already liberates out, but still it is not required to our body as much as. So soda water is not good to our health. Air, of course, air means it is a mixture of all the gases. It might be the oxygen or a nitrogen, carbon dioxide, or the carbon monoxide, etc. So many gases is mixed each other, and we could say it is a air. Of course, you know that seawater. Seawater is a salty taste. So we could say that salt, I mean common salt, or you could say that sodium chloride is very much is present in the sea water. In the sea water, we could see so many other than the salt also. Soil, it is a mixture of all the minerals. Why? Because the soil is having so many mixtures. Which of the following will show the Tyndall effect? First, you have to know that what you mean by the Tyndall effect. Then you have to categorize the following. What the next question? Whether that follows, that says the Tyndall, or that is follows the Tyndall effect or not. The question is salt solution, milk, copper sulfate solution, starch solution. Of course, salt solution is means solution means there should be the water, because water is a universal solvent. Water is mixed with a sodium chloride or a NaCl, then it is called a salt solution. Milk, what you get it from the cow. Copper sulfate solution, again copper sulfate is mixed with water. Starch, what you get it from your rice. The answer is milk, copper sulfate solution, and the starch solution shows the Tyndall effect. Why could means milk is not a colorless, it is a white color. Copper sulfate is also a thick as well. It have the blue in color. So starch, it is also a not 100% thin. It is also a little bit thick. So when you apply the what light, it shows different kinds, or there is a formation of other than the molecules. So we could observe that there is a some of the dust or a molecule will be continuously moves where in that. So we could say that is a Tyndall effects will be present in the case of milk, copper, sulfate, etc. Question number 10. Classify the following into elements, compound, as well the mixture. You have to know What you mean by the element? That all the things, all the definitions will be there in the in the textbook. You have to be known, and you have to know all these things. What you mean by the compound and what you mean by the mixture. The definition you should know. Let me see which and all. Sodium, soil, sugar solution, silver, calcium carbonate, tin, silicon, coal, air, soap, methane, carbon dioxide, blood. You have to categorize here which is the element. Element means which is a single substance or only one kind, or a compound means it is a mixed of two or more elements, and the mixture means it is a combination of two or more substances to form a new compound. Then we have to know what you mean by the sodium. Sodium, of course, you may heard sodium is one of the element. It is highly reactive element. That's you should know. Metals means sodium, silver, lead, silicon. Compounds are the calcium carbonate, where the calcium is present. Along with the calcium, there is a carbonate is present. Soap, it is a mixture of again two or more, where it is a mainly alkaline component will be present. Methane, where again CH4, carbon as well, the hydrogen is present. And carbon dioxide, CO2, carbon and the oxide. Mixture means air, soil, sugar solution, blood, etc. Question number 11. Which of the following are chemical changes? Before going to chemical changes, you should know what you mean by the chemical or a chemical kinds. Growth of the plant, rusting of iron, mixing of iron filling and sand, cooking of food, digestion of food, freezing of water, burning of candle. Before going to learn this, before going to study, let me see what you mean by chemical reaction or a chemical changes. After chemical changes, it may not be regained again the original. That is the main thing. If it changes permanently, then we could say it is a chemical change. If you just imagine growth of plant, it never be regained, or cooking of food never be bring the same vegetable as before. Among these, rusting of iron, cooking of food, burning of candle are the chemical changes. Where it is burned, it cannot be regained. It will burn and it waste its kind. Cooking of food, you are putting all the vegetables, you are putting the chili powder, etc., 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 and you will heat it. At the end, you will prepare one of the very good, very delicious food. After that, it cannot be regained the same vegetable. Why? Because it is the new substance has been occur. ದಾರಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ದಾರಿ ಸುಲಭವಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೆ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಗುರಿಯ ತುದಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಬಹುದು. ದಾರಿ ಯಾವುದು ಸುಲಭ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. Please subscribe my channel. The name of the channel is Shruti Peral, for the most important videos of high school kinds. Thank you for watching. Thanks a lot.